I want to talk about, AOC. Let's get into the AOC. So AOC, I don't know if you know, did a huge motherfucking Among Us stream.
Yep.
It
I was
blew
there.
the
Were you
fuck
guys
up.
there?
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Were you guys there? It was huge, and it was
It
it
was
was
huge.
definitely
Yeah.
definitely entertaining to see
I
these
have to say,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say
Mm,
I was very impressed. Like it was amazing. It was
mm,
actually great. They did a great job putting it together.
mm,
Hassan helped. I know Pokimane was involved, and
mm.
I'm
A
a big
bunch of
fan of
other
those
Twitch
people.
streamers, yeah.
So, not that I watch Twitch often, but like I admire
Mm,
those people's content.
mm,
It was great of them to work with her, and I thought it was great.
mm,
And she was like, she's so relatable, dude. Honestly, it's hard not to love AOC. Like every time
mm,
I see footage of her or anything, she's so young, I guess. So I identify with her a lot
mm.
more than normal politicians.
Yeah, I
I
was
thought it was
surprised with the
great. I thought it
quality.
was really
Yeah,
fun.
I was very surprised of
Yeah,
how well done. I thought there was gonna be more technical issues, but yeah, it was really good. But another, I want to talk about. So, what do you think? Do you think this really helped bring people to out to vote?
I think like the gamer
Mm,
generation, the gamer demographic, I think is uniquely positioned in a place where people like AOC actually
mm,
can make a huge difference in terms of
mm,
voter turnout. I think like a lot of young people need to be energized, like need to be pushed into voting.
mm,
And AOC talked a lot in the stream about the new democratic thing of making a voting plan, which is basically just looking at it like a ballot online, figuring out who you want to vote for, deciding where you're going to go, and making sure you're registered,
mm,
all that shit, etc. And I actually do think that, yeah, that probably is an effective way to get people to vote. It's a real shame that it's for Joe Biden because I think like if it were
yeah,
for a different candidate, it would be a great way to get young people involved in
mm,
grassroots organizing. And she talked about that on the stream, and I can tell that like, or just psychoanalyzing her. I don't know her in real life or anything, but just by what she says, I almost feel like she wants to say more. Like wants to be more radical, but of course she has to toe the line and support Biden because Trump winning is a very bad thing that she doesn't want to see happen. So
yeah.
but overall, I thought it was a great stream. And I think a lot of young people probably are energized from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk because people were saying like, I don't think the AOC stream really did anything. Gamers, really very centrist. I don't care about politics. But I think what's most
That's
important,
true. Yeah.
like the most important thing is that like this isn't for the people. Like it may like some people may have it's like been swayed to vote, right? But what you really want to see is like all the very young kids who aren't able to vote yet. They're excited. They see the Among Us. They see this good message to vote. Make change in your communities and stuff like that, and they take that to heart. And like those kids, they're gonna remember that for like the rest of their life. Like oh my god, like I'm excited about the political process because people are made to seem like oh it's so boring to vote. It's like it's a hassle. Like you don't feel good, but I think like I feel good when I vote. Like I felt like I've done something.
Yeah.
I think it feels good to vote. And like like people really need to get more excited to vote. Like the turnout's gonna be fucking humongous this year, but like in previous years, bro, like fucking no one fucking came out to vote. Like people were like, oh
Well, but don't you think that's a symptom of
yeah,
the low like excitement for the politicians that we have though? I
I
mean,
mean yeah,
like
that's true as well,
it's hard to
and it's
blame
hard to
people
vote
not to be
as
voting
well.
for Hillary Clinton. Like it's hard to blame people not to get excited about that. And
Mm,
I don't know, it's interesting to see years like this where we have huge surges
mm,
because it kind of gives you an insight into the mind of the average person. Like voting for Hillary Clinton before Trump was president obviously wasn't enough of an incentive for normal people to go out and vote because no one voted for her.
yeah.
But now that Trump has been president for 4 years, people are really excited to vote for Biden, even though, like we said earlier, he's
Mm,
not exactly much more progressive than Hillary was anyway. So it really kind of like gives you an insight into what people care about, and what a major thing they care about is how loud is our president, how
mm,
belligerent is he, how annoying is he, how often does he post on Twitter, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
these are the things that Americans care about,
Uh
and I think that the voting numbers show that.
Yeah, but also another thing that Trump campaign did in 2016 was, they're like, how can we, these people might not vote for the Republican Party, but how can we get them to not want to vote for the Democrats? And like
Right.
surprisingly, that was very successful, and they
Yeah.
convinced a lot of people not to vote.
It
But
was successful because the Democrats were their allies in that. Like
yeah,
the Republicans, they smartly realized that the Democrats' biggest enemies were themselves because they
mm,
were more willing than the Republicans to pick people who didn't necessarily align with the party's constituents' opinions, and because they would prefer the donor money over the voter support. And the Democrats made a calculation and they decided that that was worth it. It was
Mm,
worth losing to Trump in 2016. And I mean, that's how you really have to look at it. Like,
mm,
it's not a mistake that they made, it's a calculation that they made. It wasn't an accident. Yeah, and I think, I don't know, it really just puts that on display for everyone to see. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Democratic
yeah.
Party, and while we're on the topic of
Mm,
AOC, AOC has been spearheading this new Democratic thing where she wants to pack the court. They want to expand the court. We mentioned earlier, Amy Barrett was confirmed last night
yes.
as the 115th Supreme Court Justice of our country. And AOC is the one of the first Democratic voices to say, if they're going to bulldoze her through, we're just going to grow the court. And that's it. The Supreme Court's just going to have more than 9 people now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that strategy? Do you think it's going to be a success? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think there's any like
I
shortcomings or what?
mean,
I want
like,
to hear your opinion.
we're just gonna like. I feel like expanding the court. I feel like it should be a good thing because like I don't want a fucking Republican majority. Court here. Like it's gonna fucking suck. Mitch McConnell, like clearly he has something in the works by trying to rush in this appointment, right? Expanding the courts, but I can see it going both ways, really. I can see it that the Republicans, we expand the court this presidency, they expand the court next presidency. So like we might just see like who knows how large we're gonna see the court become.
Right. I don't know. That's the thing that concerns me is like, who's to say that every election after this is not just going to
Yeah,
be like we grow the court by 2, right?
yeah,
It's I actually think it's good though because it lowers people's faith in the Supreme Court. I think that's
mm,
actually a really important thing right now, and I don't know if AOC means to do this, but I think if the Democrats do this strategy, that would be one of the unintended potential positive
or
effects
at least be able to
because
vote these people out.
yes, exactly. Like we need to do something, and I think people need to realize the average person needs to realize how dumb and stupid the Supreme Court is. Like from day one, it was created to be a way to supersede the will of the popular,
Yep.
the popular will of the people, right? So it needs to be done away with entirely. But until then, we can bend the rules and break the rules and
Mm,
make up our own rules because it shows people that it was all bullshit in the first place and really
mm,
it was all just a political game and they
yep.
didn't really care about the rules at all because they don't, and it's all a farce. But that's the reason Democrats are so scared to do it
Mm,
though, because they know that they
yep.
know if people lose faith in the process, it makes it harder to get people to care about it, which means Democrats lose more. So it's a very delicate process to deal with, and it kind of excites me to see AOC talking about it because I think it's a good strategy if you want Democrats to win.
Mm,
But as far as long term, I don't know if it's going to be good because Republicans can just do the same, like David was saying.
yeah.
There's nothing to stop them.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a good place to stop that topic. If this red states blue drain, I don't know what that's about. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
relevant?
we'll bring that up. I wanted to mention too, though. Zion says, "Welcome to 2032. There are 33 Supreme Court justices. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted." I can't wait for that day, man. All drugs are legal,
Mm-hmm.
but abortion is still illegal, of
Mm.
course. Um, Zion says, like people will look up to us for some stupid reason. Do you think Biden will repair the imperialist reputation that the U.S. has? Like people will look up to us for some stupid reason. Actually, I think that's a great question. And I think the answer is yes. And I think that we have a great example of that under Biden's previous administration, because
Mm.
in terms of Obama, he was
Ababe.
a warmonger just like George Bush was. I mean, maybe he didn't kill a million Iraqis, but he definitely was on par in terms of moral decisions, I would say. He killed plenty of innocent people and we continue to do so to this day. I think that Barack Obama is great evidence that yes, a liberal president can whitewash America's involvement in like imperial affairs overseas, because when the president is not tweeting about the coup that they're committing, it's not exactly public knowledge. People aren't as involved in it, and it kind of flies under the radar.
Mm.
It's not like Afghani orphans are tweeting like, "LOL, Barack Obama just drone striked my hospital."
Mm.
So we don't really hear about that shit, and no one really cares. At least under Trump, it's kind of annoying and loud, so people get involved in it. I
Yeah.
am very concerned, Zion, about the imperial image of the U.S. kind of going away under Biden, and I hope to be able to do my part in making sure
Mm.
that does not happen. because it's very dangerous. But yeah, we can definitely move on to the next topic.
Okay.